I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Finally, The Rock has come back. I hate this idea that you're the best.
And if you're not down with that, we got two words for ya!
I'm the best in the world.
I fight at WrestleMania for the very, very small percentage of people that walk this planet and say I am proud to be, I'm sorry, a professional wrestler.
Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
It's Podcast of the Immortals with your hosts, Matt Bush and Jimmy Bellamy.
All right. Welcome to episode, what is it, 58?
Episode 58. 58.
Dang. 58 of Podcasting of the Immortals. I'm Matt Bush.
I am your co-host and humble servant, Jimmy Bellamy.
Hey, Jimmy, how you doing?
I'm well. I feel bad that we didn't get to have our fade-in banter start.
I know, it's more difficult with our new setup, I found, because normally we just turn it on and start talking, and then I just edit wherever it sounded the best. And this doesn't really, yeah.
We'll find a way.
Well, we will find a way.
It's our second show with the new equipment.
Yeah,
we'll make it work.
Yep, hopefully we got our levels correct this time.
Hopefully your sound is better, because even right now, you gotta get close.
Gotta get closer.
Yeah, you remember, that was perfect, because anybody who listened to last week, episode 57, saw that Matt's levels were a little lower than mine, and I had to crank up the vol when I was listening back.
Maybe if you didn't have such like a manly, like Brock Lesnar-esque voice.
There is nothing manly about me, not even my voice. And if people are wondering, you guys listen back to your shows? Sometimes.
It's more like quality assurance.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
I started doing it to make sure that the entire episode was playing, because I think we had a couple early on where we had to re-upload because they weren't uploading every single minute of the show. So I started doing that, and then that's kind of been why I've been doing it. Plus, it's just one of a gazillion podcasts I listen to.
Plus, we're fucking awesome.
I don't think it's that.
I do enjoy our banter sometimes.
You're awesome, though.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thank you. Speaking of awesome, where the hell's the Miz been?
He did commentary on SmackDown. He was the third guy with JBL and Mogul.
Wow, he don't know how good he can be.
He's in the Rumble, though.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he predicted he'll win it.
Well,
and JBL lolled.
That would be the biggest shock in Royal Rumble history if the Miz won.
And I mean, granted, last year was the most disappointing because it was so predictable that John Cena was going to win. It would be nice if one year they threw in a wild card. They threw in I don't know what you're telling me. You're like a third base coach right now. Do I bunt?
I was trying to say, just back up a smidge.
Back up a smidge.
A smidge.
How's right here?
That's right
good.
That's right in the zone.
You like that, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Smooth?
Yeah.
All right, cool. If they would just, for 1 year, let a guy like Santino win it. He was the runner-up in 2011. But if they had something where it looked like a total fluke that a guy got into the main event at WrestleMania, and you could build for 2 months around this guy's fluke Royal Rumble win and have him get some victories and have a huge support system behind him with the crowd. It'd be awesome if like JTG won the Royal Rumble or something.
Isn't JTG still on the roster?
Yeah, he is. That's why I said it.
With the World Heavyweight Championship being gone now, and now it being the unified WWE whatever.
The WWE World Heavyweight Championship
of the world.
Of Anaheim.
Yeah. I don't think they're ever going to have a surprise winner. They have had surprise winners of the Royal Rumble. Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus. These guys weren't necessarily the favorites to win.
I'm talking like wrestles in the middle of, Jacked, if you remember that show when they had Jacked.
Doink the Clown could come out and win.
Yeah, or no, I mean, it'd be like if Tyson Kidd won.
Yeah.
Or Kofi Kingston.
Sure. With it being a unified title, I don't think we're ever going to see a surprise victor like that, though.
Closer. You'll never get a surprise victory, and here's why. Too many people would complain that they're throwing away WrestleMania, so they would never do that because WrestleMania is such a big deal. Now, what you could do is you could have a fluke Royal Rumble winner, and then you could have that guy forced to put his spot up and then lose it in a match, which they've done before. They've had Austin put up his win, his number one contender spot at Mania before, and they could do it that way. But then you might get people complaining, saying, well, we had to pay for Royal Rumble, but you won't get that anymore. Do you know why? $10.99. I'm sorry, $9.99 a month. Now you got me all scared. Do I get closer? Do I get closer and whisper?
No, you're a little hot when you get close. So I don't want to.
Dude, I'm a lot hot no matter where I am. Yeah. Step back, you're dancing kind of close.
Yeah, that's true. Who sang that Closer song? Next?
Oh, the Closer. That one? I think that's Pharrell.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think it was. Oh, no. Oh boy, it's gonna bug me. I can't remember. Was it Neo? It was Neo.
Oh man,
Neo sang it, but I thought you meant that Too Close song.
There's too many songs about
when
being close.
We're grinding.
Baby,
I get so excited. I hate that song, and it's still. This is how bad Duluth is sometimes. For those of you who don't live in Duluth or don't live in Minnesota, Duluth is usually 4 months behind in everything. At least 4 months when it comes to like music, restaurants. I mean, we are just getting a Chipotle. Like, it's not here yet, but it will be this year. I mean, that's how far behind we are.
People freaked out about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Duluth got Twitter in 2011. I mean, they were way behind the times when it came to that. But they still play. Some of the stations still play that Next song, Too Close. And I think it's because
weren't they from Minneapolis?
They were from Minneapolis.
Yeah,
but,
something like that.
They don't play like Paul Westerberg all the time. Who? Look him up.
Okay. Okay. I'm more of a Miley Cyrus kind of fan.
Yeah, sure you are.
Yeah, of course.
We are going to give you our Royal Rumble preview, and we're also going to give you our top 10 surprise Royal Rumble appearances. And we're going to focus heavily on that near the end of the show because Raw was just kind of a stinker tonight.
Yeah,
and that's the other thing. This is a Monday night right now. You guys are going to get this, well, probably technically early Tuesday morning, but we're going to put it up Monday night. It's Matt came over and watched Raw, and it's an early one. This is good that we're getting it up as soon as we can.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, we enjoyed our time with Wrestle News.
Mm-hmm.
This would have never happened on Wrestle News.
No, and that was the biggest reason why I wanted to make the switch back to the Bean is we have control over being able to put the podcast up quickly, and the numbers have proven that you guys like when we post the program as quickly as possible and as early as possible, and it shows in our reaction shows after pay-per-views.
Oh, especially. Big time. So we're gonna get that content up to you as quick as we can, and hopefully you guys enjoy it as much as you can. Yeah, I was wondering what that
sounds like. Sounds like an airliner's taking off. But remember, we heard this last time, and it did not translate to the listeners. Because when we were fidgeting with this last time, when we heard feedback, there was nothing during the podcast. So nice. If you hear this airliner taxiing right now on the runway, we apologize.
That's we're heading to
San Juan,
the Royal
Puerto Rico.
Rumble.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
which is in
our jet's
Pittsburgh?
just idling.
I think it's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we're gonna go, and that's our plane. We got some wrestling news.
We do. And why don't you unleash the wrestling news on us?
Yeah, since you don't have any, and I haven't showed you what this is.
I know.
The WWE is looking to bring up some new divas from NXT. And I'm sure you know who one of them is because she was on Raw tonight. And that is Emma and Paige are likely to debut soon.
Sweet.
Yeah, with the loss of Caitlyn and you know, other divas kind of getting stale. I mean, what's her name? Ava Marie is kind of the only one who's burst through, I guess you could say, recently.
And she's been very underwhelming in her appearances.
Yeah. So yeah, looks like we're finally going to get Paige and Emma.
Do you think that we could see a Divas tag division with titles?
No.
How come?
They can barely sustain the Divas Championship. I mean, AJ's had it for 200 and something days, and there's been no real competition for her.
When this crop of NXT Divas is on the regular roster and Summer Rae is getting regular time in the ring, you don't see that happening, that they could have a tag division?
Well, they might have a division, but they're not going to have a championship.
I think they could do it.
I'm sure they could do it. I just don't see it happening.
Do you have better things to do right now, Matt?
No.
Why are you sexting?
I'm not sexy.
All right, what's wrestling news number 2?
All right. Daniel Bryan suffered a concussion last week during the main event of Raw. There was
No.
There was talk that he might miss a Rumble, but that was put in a kibosh today. He was cleared by WWE doctors, and he's good to go for the Rumble. And I mean, I was really curious what they were going to do if Daniel Bryan couldn't go, and I was surprised that he was cleared this soon, because what I had heard was that it was a pretty serious injury.
Andy, your guy and mine, sent me a text saying, I heard Bryan might not be in the Rumble. What do you think? I'm like, I didn't even respond to him, actually, because he asked me what number was going to win. He goes, what number is going to win the Rumble? And I said, number 69. It always wins. But no, I knew he'd be in it. He's way too valuable at this point. And they're like, concussions? Oh, never mind that stuff.
Wow, I don't know if they agree with that at all as far as concussions. But like, especially after the Benoit thing, I think they take him very seriously now. But for him to be cleared is awesome, obviously. But we were talking about this all day at work. What would they have done if Daniel Bryan couldn't go? He's obviously the favorite for the Royal Rumble, most over guy in the company. Who would have won if not Daniel Bryan? Or what would they have done if he couldn't go at the Royal Rumble?
The winner would have been...
You think so?
Yeah, it would have been Punk.
Odds on favorites right now. Okay, there's clear 4 guys. There's
Daniel Bryan,
CM Punk, Batista, and John Cena probably.
John Cena's not going to be in the Rumble.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
What if he were to lose the title match?
It's possible.
And the Royal Rumble goes on last.
It's possible. I think Orton will win the title. Or, I'm sorry, retain the title. But there's a good chance, look at me going out on a limb, there's a good chance that Cena wins the belt. Then he doesn't have to be in the Rumble if he does that. But my thought is that he won't be in the main event this year. And I think that they're going to tell him, this was your chance to main event WrestleMania, or have a chance at the main event. He'll be in the chamber, so that will be his other shot to be in the main event at WrestleMania. He'll be in the chamber championship match. So he doesn't need the Royal Rumble, win or lose on Sunday. I don't think he'll be in it. I could be wrong. I don't think he'll be in it, though.
Cena is the only guy that I can't see a clear path to WrestleMania for. I mean, Daniel Bryan. And the Wyatt's an interesting thing, too, because, I mean, you've heard that he might take on Cena. I don't understand how that feud would work. I don't think Bray Wyatt deserves a shot at Cena at WrestleMania yet. I don't think he's been built up well enough. I mean, he's losing to the Usos in a tag match.
That will be the opportunity to build him up. He can get a win over John Cena at WrestleMania. Look what it did for Fandango to beat Jericho at... Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah. That's Ryback. Oh, wait. You know, if you push these guys too soon, he needs another year of just like solid performances, wins over quality people to take on Cena at Mania. It'd be pointless to put him into a match against Cena this year.
I think you got to get a little closer, dude.
Still?
Yeah, because it's still going to like 2 and 3.
I'm watching our levels on
Are we good on
Audacity, and they're looking good.
Okay, good. Well, then don't listen to me, because obviously I can't see that screen, so that's good. That's good. That makes me feel better. How am I? Am I okay right
You're
here?
solid.
Okay.
You're solid as a rock.
Thank you guys for bearing with us
built
during these.
Ford tough.
I'm built strong like an ox.
You know the guy who does the GMC? Is it GMC? It's Will Arnett. The new Tundra. It's Will Arnett.
I would have to listen to it again.
You gotta check it. It's GMC. What's GMC's
General Motors.
What's their slogan?
I'm loving it.
GMC, I'm loving it.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's Will Arnett from Arrested Development. But he's got an awesome voice.
He does.
I wish I had his voice. Is what I'm roundabout getting to.
I wish I had his checking account.
But yeah, what were we talking about?
I wish I had his ex-wife, Amy Poehler. No, I'm kidding. I'm not really attracted to Amy Poehler.
The best joke from the Golden Globes with Amy Poehler and Tina Fey.
Was the George Clooney one?
The George Clooney one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What was it? He goes,
I don't know if we really need to repeat it. It was at the Golden Globes. Do we need to really repeat someone else's joke? You can. I'll let you.
all right, I'll Mencia it.
Yeah, you do it.
No. All right. Well, whatever. He was in Gravity, and they said the movie was about his love life and how that was the longest time he'd spent with a woman as of his age, but he'd rather die in space or something like that than spend another minute with a girl his own age.
No, it was, he would rather float away and die in space than spend another minute with a woman his age. Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought it was pretty well done joke, but I butchered it. Okay, so
Just like your face.
who does John Cena take on at WrestleMania?
Bray Wyatt.
Why?
No, here's who he fights The Undertaker.
Okay, well then who does Brock Lesnar fight?
Batista.
Okay. Why?
Why does Brock Lesnar fight Batista?
Yes.
Because they're both big and they were my number 1 and 2 overall best wrestlers ever when it comes to having everything.
But you forgot about Bill Goldberg.
Bill Why do you insist?
Because
Bill Goldberg is not going to be at
has
WrestleMania.
No, he's not going to be at WrestleMania, but Bill Goldberg has better attributes than Batista and his
Better
skinny jeans.
attributes. What does he attribute his success to?
Being the best ever.
Okay. You and your Bill Goldberg. I can't wait till you're going to text me a photo the week of WrestleMania. And it's going to be you just grinning like a little kid standing next to Bill Goldberg. He'll be wearing like a leather Harley Davidson jacket and you're going to be sporting your CNN hat and you're like, look at me. You're going to be so excited and you're going to send that to me and then I'm going to make a meme out of it and send it back to you.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that's very nice, Matt, but I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Bill Goldberg hates you.
Don't ruin this for me. Bill Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg went to his hotel room shortly after meeting you and killed himself. He swallowed a bucket of pills and washed it down with vodka.
Can I get some decorum?
Can I get some decorum?
Oh God! I hope he doesn't kill himself after he meets me. But
he's like,
better he kills himself.
Guy.
Better he kills himself after he meets me than before, because I want to meet him.
Actually, that's what he's gonna do.
Reasons.
He's gonna see you coming, and then he's gonna be like, "Hey, wait a minute." He's gonna tell the people like looking over, like he's gonna tell security, "Hey, give me a minute. I gotta go to the bathroom." And then he's gonna like beat himself to death with a toilet seat.
Wow.
Just to avoid you.
Like in Liar Liar or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, can you still go on? Yes.
Like, I'm kicking my ass.
What are you doing? Oh, God.
I wasn't okay with repeating a Golden Globes joke, but was okay
Jim
with
Carrey,
repeating
1995
movie lines
comedy,
from Liar Liar.
Maura Tierney is in that.
Yeah, she is.
And I've always had a crush on Maura Tierney.
Yeah, she was pretty cute in that.
Yeah.
ER.
News Radio and ER. Mm-hmm. Her and Tina Fey are like the older women that I have a crush on.
You know who I don't like? Ellen Pompeo. Pompeo, she was in Old School and was like, okay, all right, I can respect that. She kind of looked like a poor man's or a rich man's, depending on how you view Renee Zellweger. A poor man's Renee Zellweger.
Isn't she in
Grey's? And then she was in Grey's Anatomy, and she just bothered me. And then she was on an episode of MTV Punked, where she was getting punked by, I think, her fiance at the time. I think they're now wed. I don't know. They might be divorced by now. But they were at a restaurant, and she was so rude to the waitress. And she was the one being punked. And she was so rude. And the thing she said, it made her look terrible. And I can't believe that she signed off on allowing that episode to air, or that segment, because she looked so bad.
I feel like people who treat wait staff like that are bad people in real life.
No, agree. And I'm going to editorialize here. I mean, I guess we've been doing that the whole time. But if you guys go out, I hope, whether you're at a bar or a restaurant, tip. And if you're looking at the bill and you're like, I'm going to give them a smaller tip because, whatever. If you're going out to eat, or you're at a bar and, you're living check to check or whatever, giving an extra few dollars will not make a difference. So pay your waitstaff well. They work their tails off. I like to give at least 20%.
Oh, for sure. And the people who say, I can't afford the tip, well, then you shouldn't have gone out.
That's exactly it. Don't be jerks.
Yes.
And also don't be a jerk in a way where you think that this person is your servant. Like, I'm going to look at everything you did and grade you on it. And if you didn't do a good job, I'm leaving you $1.63. I mean, cut some people some slack. Certainly there are bad servers out there or whatever, but most of them are pretty damn cool.
Yeah, if I see someone being an ass to a server I'll actually give that server extra, just because I'm like, I've been in that situation. I work in retail. I've had those people yell at me, and it does help you when like another customer's like, man, that guy was a jerk, and it does make you feel like, okay, I wasn't just imagining it.
Yeah.
So yeah, be nice to retail. We're getting off on tangents here.
That's good though.
Wrestle news.
The crowd demands tangents.
They love tangents.
Yeah. They like whatever we talk about because we like them. They like us. They're here with us. You're all here with us right now. Whether you're in the car, you're at home, you're at work, you're on the bus, you're doing whatever, you're running. We're right there with you. Matt's huffing and puffing. I mean, he was tired after the first mile. Me, I could make it to, let's go 12. Let's go 12 today. Take us all the way. We'll go 12 miles.
We'll go 4 hours.
And then when Matt dies in the 8th mile, we will take
you'll tip my sister.
we will
extra.
No, we will take applications for a new co-host.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You just replace me?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll replace you. You know what? In fact, what I'll do is the little icon we have, the avatar, I'm just going to paste someone else's head on your body.
Wow, dude. Like who would your ideal guest host be?
Unico.
You would play the Matt Bush character.
Yeah, because I mean Matt Bush would still be the co-host, but it would be played by Unico.
I accept this.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
thank you.
But yeah, we have some more wrestle news. What are we at here? Oh, geez. Okay. So the original plan for Daniel Bryan was to have the wide angle last much longer than it played out on the 2 weeks on Raw.
I knew they'd bail.
Yep. Well, what pushed them over the edge to get rid of it was the viral video of the Michigan State Yes chant. It swayed the minds of creative to turn Daniel Bryan back to a face as soon as possible and to build him into the number one face of the company, basically. And they're really hoping for a huge Yes chant at WrestleMania, like the biggest Yes chant ever.
Will they all be wearing Rey Mysterio masks too?
God, I hope not.
Booyaka, booyaka.
619.
61619.
Hunico.
That's my rhyme.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I'm shocked that something outside of the company could influence it that much, and their whole plans for WrestleMania, basically.
That kind of bothers me.
Why?
Because if they had a plan, they should have seen it to the end. They saw a video of people in a basketball arena doing the Yes chant, and then they changed their minds. It didn't matter that for 4 or 5 straight pay-per-views and weeks and weeks and weeks of Raw episodes, everyone and their uncle lost their minds for Daniel Bryan. That didn't matter. But then they see an ESPN highlight of people being told to do a yes chant, and that is what put them over the top and made them go this way. You're weak. WWE Creative, you are weak.
I think what they're responding to is the pop culture influence that it's having, and how it's getting outside of the WWE universe and its ability to draw other fans into it.
That's fine. But what were they doing 7 months ago? And 5 months ago? And 3 months ago?
3 weeks ago.
I mean, Daniel Bryan could be the champion. He could be in his like 6th month as the title holder. And all would be right with the world. But they're like, no, we're gonna hold the title in abeyance. And then we're gonna have Randy Orton be our guy, but then we're gonna kind of not have him do anything. I don't know, whatever. It'll be fine. Either way, Rumble's going to be fun, and I trust that they will make it right at Mania, and they'll put the gold on Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan hurt a little much.
Daniel Bryan swell.
I think they've done it right, believe it or not, with Daniel Bryan. When he first got over, it was when he lost at WrestleMania in 18 seconds.
Yes.
And the night after, the yes chant started.
Mm-hmm.
So he lost his big moment.
Didn't the yes chants happen at Mania?
Kind of, but they really took off the night after WrestleMania 28.
Bienvenido a Miami.
Okay. Oh, welcome to Miami. I got you. Wow. Will Smith, Big Willie style.
Rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he did die. Yeah, so after his adversity and him losing the title and him chasing it again is when he really first started to get over. Now, everyone wanted to see him become WWE champion. He's got to become it. And he finally wins it. We get this big payoff. The confetti's falling, and they immediately take it away from him. And everyone's just pissed, and he becomes even more over because they're like, our guy just got screwed over. And now they're building him to this big moment again where he's finally going to take it, and they're going to say, you're the face of the company with your long hair and your big goat face. You're our guy. And it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be the biggest payoff in years at WrestleMania.
And as I said earlier tonight while we were watching the show, his hair finally crossed over that period of weirdness and is now officially long. Looks good. He's a sexy man.
Oh, for sure.
Daniel Bryan, our guy. Can't wait for the Rumble. He's going to put on a clinic.
I really believe so. I think he walks out of WrestleMania as a champion. I hope he wins it off of CM Punk or John Cena or a face. I want face versus face.
What if we get Bryan versus Bork Laser? Bork Laser as champion at Mania.
I would like that a lot. I mean, out of all the guys in the company, Brock Lesnar should be able to beat Daniel Bryan. And for him to overcome that mountain would be just as awesome. Or Triple H. That was I was telling Andy, I go, if Daniel Bryan can't go in the Rumble, I hope Triple H wins. Because then Daniel Bryan can win the championship at Elimination Chamber and take on Triple H, which would be a good conclusion in their story as well.
The only thing that wouldn't work there is you would never have a champion Bryan taking on a challenger Triple H at Mania. I could see Triple H inserting himself in the chamber match and winning the title and then going to Mania, but even that is pretty far-fetched. I think what you're going to have is you're going to have Daniel Bryan come in as the challenger at Mania. But here's the thing now. If he wins the Rumble, he's the number one contender, and then you have the Elimination Chamber for the championship, he's got to be one of the six guys in it, right?
If it's even for the title.
But I know we're saying hypothetically,
yeah,
and it is my belief that the Chamber will be for the title.
Daniel Bryan has to be in that match
because you've got Punk, Batista, Bryan, Cena, Orton, Bork.
Those would be my guys. But they made it sound like it'd be Orton versus Lesnar 1-on-1.
I know.
I know.
They could always add to it.
I know. I could see a way where they like screw over Daniel Bryan once again in the chamber, even if he's won the Royal Rumble. Although they could just say like, look and listen, you're already in the main event. What are you if you win? You're not going to take on yourself, so you're not in this. And then they put in Sheamus or something.
Yeah, and actually, what you could have is you could have Bryan, who's fighting. I mean, we'll give it away. He's fighting Bray Wyatt at the Rumble in a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
There's no reason they can't have another one-on-one match at the Chamber, but chances are the Rumble will be the blow-off match.
Yeah, I think the Wyatts need to conclude so Daniel Bryan can move on to the title once again. And I think that will happen at the Rumble. My biggest prediction for the Rumble is Sheamus comes back. Everyone's like, oh my God, he's back. And he gets eliminated in exactly 18 seconds by Daniel Bryan.
I wish that would happen. I don't see them doing that.
Me neither, but
that'd be
I think
sweet.
it'd be one of the coolest moments ever in the Royal Rumble. We know that WWE listens to us. We've gone over this many times. Just make that moment happen. Sheamus has been out for 6 months?
About 6 months.
And everyone's expecting him to come back. You know, it's going to be, he's going to come back. He's going to be dominant again. And he gets eliminated in 18 seconds by the pipsqueak who he took out to win. I think it would be an absolute perfect moment for Daniel Bryan.
I support it. Let's find out if it actually happens. I think that Sheamus will actually come back and look good. He will eliminate some people, and he could even be in the Final Four. And
yeah.
my prediction that I wrote on our blog, podcastoftheimmortals.wordpress.com.
It's $18 to shorten that to podcastoftheimmortals.com. You want to pitch in $9?
Yeah,
for a year?
absolutely. Absolutely. And if anybody else wants to give, we would be open to giving. PayPal, jimmybellamy@hotmail.com. You can send it to our PayPal.
And mail is spelled M-A-L-E.
Oh, of course it is.
At hotmail.com.
Is there another way to spell mail?
No.
I didn't think so.
I don't think so.
I think Sheamus could be in the Final Four. My prediction, though, was to have Bray Wyatt in the Final Four. But this was before, of course, finding out that Bryan and Bray will have a match. So they'll get their business done in that match. And I think the Final Four will be Bryan, Punk, Batista. Could be Sheamus, but we reserve room to put Cena in there if Cena's in the match.
I hope they put Cena in the match. I never understand why people in matches don't seem to show up in...
But they do.
They do, except for the title match. Usually the contender doesn't...
Has that been the case every time, though?
The last couple of years that I've watched, it has been.
Okay, because I think there have been years where the loser of the title match has been in it. I cannot confirm it, but it doesn't seem foreign to me. I think it has happened.
Well, the last 2 years, it was Rock, CM Punk for the title.
Correct.
That was the main event.
Or as I like to call, it's Punk Rock.
Punk Rock. Perfect. The year before, it was CM Punk against... Who was he taking on that year? Crap. For the title. He still had the title at that point, didn't he?
I would have to look it up.
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, he had the title at Royal Rumble 2012.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll look it up right now.
But yeah, I don't believe his contender... I think it was Cena. But yeah, Cena wasn't in it 2 years ago, if I recall.
Well, then maybe that was it. It was Punk Dolph Ziggler.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
For the WWE Championship?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah, I do remember that now. And Ziggler was in the Royal Rumble. I'm pretty sure.
Well, there you go, dude.
Wow. Out of all the people on the roster, who would be the biggest surprise for you to, if they act like a legitimate person who could win? Who would be the biggest surprise for you?
Well, you mentioned Miz.
Yeah.
And I count him as legitimate because he's a former WWE champion.
All right.
Antonio Cesaro would be it.
My pick is Roman Reigns. I'm just because it's so early for him. He's still part of the Shield. But if he won, I would be completely okay with it. Like, I'm like, okay, they're going with him. Let's see what he can do. I think it would be a little early, but I really think Roman Reigns, if they wanted to go that route, would be like a believable winner.
My 4 guys, Reigns, Ambrose, Sandow, Cesaro. Those would all be great surprise winners. Seth Rollins, for whatever reason, is not in Ambrose and Reigns territory for me. But I like him.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
I think he'd be and will be great. But as far as where he stands with WWE, he's not where Reigns and Ambrose are in WWE's eyes.
I agree, and I don't know why that is. His personality on the mic, maybe. Roman Reigns has that kind of stoic, like, all right, I'm gonna beat you, and then he just explodes with like, but he's so physically dominating that he can overcome that, like Brock Lesnar was. Ambrose is amazing on the mic, good in the ring, and Rollins is amazing in the ring, but personality-wise, it's like when the Bellas were just the Bellas instead of Brie and Nikki.
Exactly.
You see them and you enjoy them, but that's about it.
Have we gotten to Painful Raw yet?
No. I have one more Wrestle News.
Alrighty.
Reportedly, Hulk Hogan has verbally agreed to a deal with the WWE and expects to be at WrestleMania 30.
You also told me this on October 10th, 2013. Where's he been? You sent me a text.
I sent you a text.
You sent me a link to a story that Hulk Hogan had verbally agreed to a deal. October 10th, 2013.
How do you know the date?
Because I was getting my engagement photos done that day.
Oh.
And I was leaving dinner. I saw that text from you.
Well, now it's confirmed. Hulk Hogan will be at WrestleMania 30. He has verbally committed to WWE. I think he'll.
Will
he
be at the Rumble?
That's the big question to be answered, and I think he will be. I really think he's going to be one of the 30 guys.
We'll see. We'll see.
Andy says no, because he says if someone kicks him over the top rope, he's going to die, which I don't agree or disagree with. I think he can handle one more bump in his career, and I think for him it'll be worth it for that big pop that he's the most massive pop you'll probably ever hear at a Royal Rumble.
Will you hear the Jimi Hendrix music or I think you'll hear I Am a Real American.
You'll hear Real American for sure. WWE never used the Jimi Hendrix music.
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
Yes, they did. After he was done with the NWO and he was still Hollywood Hulk Hogan, but he wore the red and yellow, he came out to Voodoo Child.
I'll believe you, but I don't recall it.
I'm not making it up.
I said I believe you.
Okay.
I'm just saying I don't remember it.
Yeah, of course you don't. This was back, you were too busy graduating high school, that's why. This was like 03.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 03.
What was his music when he was Mr. America? I can't remember.
I think it was Miley Cyrus, We Can't Stop.
You stopped. That was
We
like...
Can't Stop.
He was Mr. America back in like 04 or 05 or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stop bringing up Miley Cyrus.
No.
You're just a one-trick pony, son.
What's wrong with I play Miley Cyrus every morning when I open. It gets me up.
Look, I like her too. I listen to a couple of her songs.
I know you like Wrecking Ball.
I do.
Yeah.
Don't play her right now.
I'm not. I'm not.
All right.
I'm not.
Thank you. You saved us.
Okay, we should get into Raw though.
Yeah.
We Hulk Hogan. What do you think? Do you think he comes back?
You sound like you're confident about this, but you told me more than 3 months ago, and I haven't seen him. I'm okay with him coming back. That's fine. I think I told you. I think I said I wanted him to be in a match. I was okay with him fighting John Cena.
Yeah.
But they don't need him.
No, they don't.
With all those returns of Lesnar and Batista and possibly Jericho. I mean, they really don't need him, but I'm okay with it. I've always liked Hogan in WWE. Always.
I'm just excited to see him. He made WrestleMania. I mean, there's Mr. WrestleMania, but Hogan's Mr. WrestleMania. Come on.
Hogan's Mr. WrestleMania, and he proved it. Everyone was reminded of it, our generation. when you played WWE 2K14 and you see how prominent he is in the first 10 years of Mania.
Oh, for sure. And even after that, people don't forget, but he headlined the first 9 WrestleManias. He was in the final match. No, 8 of the 9. WrestleMania 4, he wasn't, but 8 of the 9, he was in the final match and highly featured in the one he wasn't. And then he left, and then he became Hollywood Hogan in the NWO, one of the biggest angles of all time. And then he comes back and has another great run. His match with Rock, his match with Vince, it's incredible. The guy's wrestling, and he deserves to be at WrestleMania 30. It's going to be this big history, thing, historic, and Hulk Hogan needs to be there, and I'm glad he's going to be.
I had a conversation with a friend of mine at lunch on Sunday who hasn't watched wrestling in years, but we talked about WrestleMania 6, and he was giddy like a kid when he was recapping the Warrior Hogan match.
Oh, for sure.
And he's like, there are moments in my life that I don't remember very well, but I could tell you exactly how that match finished. And he loved it. He's like, I got that pay-per-view. It was me and my uncle, and he was excited.
And those are the memories that you remember as a fan. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. We do need to get into Raw. We're 42 minutes into the show.
We're gonna skate through Raw, not just for time, but it really kind of was a crappy Raw.
And I was really disappointed because I was excited about this. Batista came back. Triple H and Steph are in the ring. They talked about the Rumble. They announced that they announced Batista to come out, but Orton comes out instead. Steph slams Orton for losing to Kofi and attacking Cena's dad, said it looks unbecoming for a WWE champ. Triple H says instead of getting back at Kofi, Orton hit a defenseless old man. Says Orton needs to rise up because people like Cena and Batista are coming for him. Triple H says he will face all these things alone, kind of breaking up the authority with Orton, it sounded like. With that, Batista's music hit. He comes out looking like Pitbull in really tight, skinny jeans.
Yeah, he looked like Pitbull wearing the pants that would fit a chihuahua.
Yeah.
That was bad.
That was some gentle comedy right there. Says hello to Randy. Says he's back for one thing, and that's the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And he doesn't care who has it, but he's going to come back, and he wants to headline WrestleMania. I like that. It was short and simple, right to the point. He was struggling getting on the corner post, trying to do his pose because of the jeans. I hope he wrestles in those.
Just painted on pantaloons.
Yeah. Just struggling to do anything.
He couldn't do his Batista bomb later in the night because, like you had pointed out, they probably would have split.
Oh God. We were joking, Hogan rips his shirt when he comes to the ring. What if he just just splits his pants every time?
He does a calf raise and just shreds.
And he's ready to go.
He's just wearing Cena shorts all of a sudden.
Cena shorts, yeah. Code Dust and Biggie Langston took on the Shield. Rhodes went for a second disaster kick on Roman Reigns, but Reigns hits him with a Superman punch, which was awesome. Rollins ends up pinning Biggie Langston after his face stomp finisher. So that was pretty cool.
Good win for the Shield.
Yep. And they should win that match. They've beat teams with Cena and CM Punk and the biggest stars in the company. They should be able to beat Big E and who else was in it? The Code Dust.
Yeah, it was the right move.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan then comes out, says he had to overcome indoctrination and stand side by side with 3 people he despised. And he finally got his chance to take on Bray Wyatt one-on-one. Said he will take on Wyatt again at the Royal Rumble. That was basically saying he's going to be able to get over his concussion, which was great. Bray shows up on the Titantron, says being a traitor is a sin of the highest order, says he wasn't exposed, but Daniel Bryan was. Says everything that happens to Bryan from here on out is Daniel Bryan's own fault. Cool. I like the promo.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep.
I hope they have a good match. I have a feeling the match is kind of going to be a stinker.
We'll see. Fandango took on Xavier Woods. Fandango wins with a leg drop. Stephanie is backstage and she's mad at Kane for chokeslamming CM Punk last week. Says he needs to go and apologize to CM Punk. Kane makes his way to the ring, calls out CM Punk. Punk comes out, and Kane apologizes. Wow, this is just terrible. Punk has none of it and attacks Kane, knocks him out of the ring. Maddox then stops Kane from going back in, and Maddox is so funny.
You were lolling too.
It was just like it was just stupid. He just makes me laugh. He didn't even do anything funny. He just cracked me up. Maddox says he will give Punk what he wants, and that's a fight against Billy Gunn right now. Billy Gunn took on CM Punk, and Billy... it autocorrected to Billy Fun. Billy Gunn needs to cut his hair.
Yeah, he's got to let it go. It's time. Just shave it.
Yep.
Get rid of those locks. What's left of them?
Even Triple H did it, so, and The Undertaker. It just happens when you get old.
Well, and Triple H actually has his hair still.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to shave it because it's balding, but he made the right call by shaving it, looking more professional.
Yeah, corporate.
Yeah.
Billy, or in the middle of the match, CM Punk attacks the Road Dogg who was on the mic. Punk hits the GTS for the win. Maddox congratulates him. That's when I started laughing. Maddox was like, "Congratulations, Punk!" And I just started
on
cracking up.
I'd like to congratulate you on your big win.
Big win. I don't know why it made me laugh so much.
He's awesome.
His
He's
delivery
funny
was
in
just
everything
so
he
perfect.
does. He's good.
Kane then comes out and says this Sunday he will prove that he's best in the world because he is or CM Punk will have to prove that he's best in the world because he's going to be number one in the Royal Rumble, the first entrant, which is very interesting.
Kane said that everybody will be randomly drawn except CM Punk.
Yeah. And we were talking about this for the last couple of years, actually. We wish they would bring back the ping pong balls where, you go back and you get your little envelope or your ping pong ball and be like, ooh, all right. And people are like, what number are you? And strategies going on. They don't do that anymore. I don't know why.
Bring it back.
Want
to see it.
Bring it back. Very nice Mae Young video. Of course, Mae Young passed this past week.
She died, I think, the news broke minutes after we finished recording last week.
Yeah, that's true. And it was a very, very nice video. I really liked it. She lived a life, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was neat. And of course, we aren't old enough, and I don't think anybody listening was old enough to see her in her heyday. I mean, all of those people are either deceased or not listening to this podcast. But what she was to us and to me in the late 90s and early 2000s, as someone in her late 70s and early 80s, she was hysterical. I mean, I loved seeing her in the Fabulous Moolah, and it's sad whenever anybody dies, but we're all selfish for getting sad. I mean,
yeah,
she's probably not in the pain she was in, if she was in any pain toward the end, but she lived a life, like you said.
She totally did, and watching that video I even said that, I'm like, man, she must have just had a ball, She always looked like she was having fun. She did crazy crap. Like, she did bumps that Randy Orton wouldn't take right now, like at age 79 or whatever, how old she was. Just always game for whatever they wanted to do, and it was always fun, grabbing Rock's ass or giving... Did she... No.
She gave birth to
She did give birth.
She gave birth to a hand that was her and Mark Henry's love hand. And, of course, she showed her puppies at the 2000 Royal Rumble, but was wearing the
bodysuit.
The bodysuit that, but they did not tell us at the time. They never said that was fake.
Just enjoy it. Just look at it.
I remember when that happened, I was stunned.
Just look at it.
Mae Young wants to show her puppies.
Oh my God. Next up, we had Rey taking on Del Rio. Del Rio wins. It was actually a pretty decent match between the two.
I just can't stand Rey Mysterio. I'm sorry. Everyone who knows me knows. Rey Mysterio is just so 19 knee surgeries. Just go back to the 619 and just hang out. Like Rey's Dominic.
Smoke a little hashish.
Listen to your POD.
Yeah, get really mellow. After the match, Batista comes out and gives a spine buster and power bomb to ADR. It wasn't a Batista bomb. like we said, his pants would have just ripped in half like the Hulk.
It was a Dave bomb.
It was
I'm sorry, but I
bomb.
just can't help but not care about this manufactured Batista Alberto Del Rio rivalry.
From the Twitter stuff.
Yeah, just so stupid.
He's like, you come to Raw and I'll show you what a champion looks like. And Batista's like, okay.
The best part about that segment was you got to see Alberto Del Rio's back hair because of the HD cameras.
Gross. After the match, Big Show is out. He does his... It was supposed to be a Paul Heyman. My client, eat, sleep, conquer, repeat. Or eat, conquer, sleep, whatever, repeat.
Arrive, Bork, leave.
Arrive, Bork, laser. But it sounded more like a Lesnar voice to me. Because he's like, arrive, conquer, sleep, repeat. And it sounds like Lesnar. Lesnar does not have a manly voice, is the gist of what I'm trying to say. He calls out Brock Lesnar, who then comes out, gets to the ring, but then he leaves. Lesnar makes... then he calls him back out, and Lesnar comes back out. Lesnar actually makes the Big Show flinch, which I thought was a nice, little moment. But then Big Show manhandles Lesnar again. Then it got really weird. He threw him outside of the ring. Lesnar starts breaking the table apart and smashing it with a chair, and he tries to get into the ring, and he can't. So he throws a little TV at him, and he fell over on it. So it's just all very strange. It's not the best build-up to a match I've ever seen.
I thought Lesnar should have gotten the upper hand in that one with Big Show doing what he did. Was that a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
It was last week.
Okay. And it didn't make sense to me that you would have Lesnar look the way he did at the end of this one, which means, though, that he is going to beat the living crap out of the Big Show at the Rumble, which is fine with me.
Yeah, for sure. Lesnar should manhandle this guy, especially when he's got a championship match the next month at Elimination Chamber. So it makes sense. The booking's fine. AJ Tamina took on the Funkadactyls. Naomi pins AJ with a roll-up.
We could see a Divas title match. It was not announced, but we could see AJ versus Naomi at the Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised if we do.
It makes sense. It's the only feud that they have going on. It's kind of sad that Natty Neidhart isn't around anymore. I liked her push. She was doing well.
One match that was announced during Raw is on the pre-show. Goldust and Cody Rhodes will defend their tag team championships against, of all people, the New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, on the pre-show, which is crazy. Like their first title match in 12 years. It's going to be on a pre-show. Yeah. So the next up, we had the Wyatts taking on the Usos. Harper nearly gets the win. Daniel Bryan then attacks Bray and Rowan outside of the ring. Usos get the fruit roll-up pin on Harper for the win.
I love that we call it the fruit roll-up.
It's a perfect name. It's a distracted roll-up. Fruit roll-up. Orton took on Kofi Kingston in the main event. Kofi almost wins with the same move that happened last week. John Cena then finally arrives to the arena. They've been teasing it all night. It was stupid. Kofi forces a showdown with Cena. Cena has his new shirt on. It's electric green, like the Seattle Seahawks, like you mentioned. Cena and Orton fight through the crowd up the stairs. Orton then jumps into a car outside of the arena and drives off. Cena comes back inside and does nothing.
I don't know why we were supposed to care. They had this camera fixed on the back. And look, this is where every superstar enters. They showed it the whole night. Like anybody cared that John Cena was going to be there. And then he arrives in his knee pads, which was a nice touch, that he would just show up in the arena with his knee pads already on. And then Kofi, for whatever reason, didn't care about winning the match. He just went out of the ring, blocked Orton's progress, and then cheered on Cena as he beat up Orton for a DQ, I assume. I don't know if it'll go in the books, that mythical record book that does not exist, as a no contest, but really it should be a DQ victory for Randy Orton.
it was all stupid. I don't even really want to talk about it. It was a terrible build.
Nobody cares about this championship match. It's WWE doesn't even care. They have the Royal Rumble, but they have done nothing for this match. I don't care at all. We're gonna sit there on Sunday and be like, oh, okay. And Andy's gonna be like fast clapping because Cena's in there, and he'll have his little hustle, loyalty, respect tee on or whatever. But other than that, no one else is gonna care. Fish might care though.
Fish, oh man, poor Fish.
Are we gonna have Fish here on Sunday?
I probably
for the reacts.
I don't know. That might be tough.
Yeah,
I only got the 2 mics now.
Maybe you and Fishy can share.
I got some Brad bucks for work.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll get that third mic.
You don't have to do that.
It's free.
Save those Brad bucks.
It's only $30.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll think. You think about it. It's your call, man. It's your life, son.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that's Raw.
That's right. We have our top 10.
Yeah. And I just want to interrupt by saying thank you for bearing with us. We hope the audio sounds good, and if it doesn't, we will continue to tweak and make sure it sounds better next week.
Tweak and fondle and
yeah. So we're going to the Rumble. We'll do Rumble. We're not going there physically. We're not going to Pittsburgh, but we're gonna move on here to the Rumble preview. We'll give the matchups, say who we think will win, and then we'll give the top 10 Rumble returns. Okay, pre-show: Code Dust versus New Age Outlaws. Tag team championships.
I take Code Dust.
I think so.
They're not going to lose that title on a pre-show. Although they could, it'd be weird to have I don't know.
I don't see the Outlaws being the champions, and if the rumored match of Cody versus Goldust or Dustin takes place at Mania, I think they will take place while they are champions. Next up, we have Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt.
Daniel Bryan.
I'm going Daniel Bryan as well. Big Show v. Bork Laser.
Laser.
I got Laser as well. If we do have a Divas Championship match, and if it is Naomi and AJ, who do you have?
AJ Lee. I think when she finally loses it, there'll be a bigger build than this.
I think there will be AJ too. I think AJ will go into WrestleMania as the champion. WWE World Heavyweight Championship. John Cena v. the champion, Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
I hate to say it. I think John Cena wins.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I do.
We'll see.
Royal Rumble. 30-man. Over the top. Maven still hasn't been eliminated from like 2002 or 4 or whatever it was. When he eliminated The Undertaker.
I'm going to take Maven then.
Okay.
No. CM Punk.
Daniel Bryan.
Okay. Can't argue with that pick.
Because I think what happens is it'll come down to Bryan and Punk or Bryan, Punk, and Batista as the final 3. And Punk will have made it from the beginning to the end. And he will lose. Then he will go on to win the championship at the Chamber and be in the main event.
I think CM Punk screws over Daniel Bryan, turns heel to win the Rumble. And then Daniel Bryan wins the championship at Elimination Chamber and gets revenge on CM Punk at WrestleMania.
Either scenario would be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go to our top 10 returns. This is surprise returns from injury, guys who came back at the Rumble, not guys who came back the week before the Rumble like Batista here and is going to be in it.
Shocking, surprising returns.
So here we go. Number 10, 2000, Bob Backlund.
He had been gone for how long?
I think 7 years. He was in the 93 Rumble. I think he was a monster in that one. But, I mean, he was well past his prime in 2000. And I just remember watching that Rumble. That was, of course, Taz's debut. Taz debuted in a one-on-one match and beat Kurt Angle. And that was, of course, the one where Mae Young showed her puppies. But I remember when Backlund came, I'm like, whoa, Bob Backlund's here? Okay, cool. Because he was wrestling when I got into wrestling.
He stuck around after that Rumble, and he actually taught the crossface chicken wing to Kurt Angle, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
he
right. Managed him or something.
I remember that. And then our number 9 return in 2001, the Honky Tonky Man.
The Donkey Man. He came out and got. Oh, Kane hit him with the guitar, didn't he? Yeah,
I think so. I could be wrong, but I remember him getting hit by his own guitar.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, though.
Number 8 happened last year. Gold Dust.
Gold Dust was awesome.
And
Cody Rhodes' face look of, holy crap, my brother's here was perfect.
And then Cody eliminated Gold Dust, right?
I believe he did. And then they went on to become tag team champions.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing about this was Gold Dust, this was just a one-time appearance. He didn't stay.
No.
He took off, and he didn't come back until like September or October.
Until Cody Rhodes had lost his job and all that. Yeah.
2010, our number 7 pick, Edge. Edge comes back after
2010.
Yeah. That's what I said.
You just said, oh, did you say that?
I said in 2010, number 7.
I just heard. I heard. Okay.
I threw a curveball there.
Dang.
You were sexting, I'm sure. No. Edge came back after a 6-month absence from an injury, and he won the Rumble that year.
Yeah, and that's when he went on to take on...
Is that Del Rio?
No.
Or was Del Rio 11?
Del Rio...
Yeah, because he defended against Del Rio in 11.
Yeah, because Del Rio won the Royal Rumble that year.
Yeah.
Who did he take on?
Was it Orton?
Jericho,
okay.
I believe.
Yeah, that's what... Because he came back because he was injured while they were tag champs.
Yep.
And Jericho was like, I didn't need him, blah, blah, blah. That's it.
Jericho won that match at Mania, I believe.
Did he?
Yeah. Pretty sure he did.
Okay. God, my memory is bad when it comes to this.
WrestleMania 26.
Number 6, 2011, Booker T.
Booker T. Five time.
And I was surprised at this because he had just recently been with TNA, and I didn't expect to see him at all. And that was it was kind of neat because Booker T's in great shape and still can ball.
Coming for you. Sucker. Yeah, sure. Number 4?
Number 5.
I'm sorry. All right. Oh, yeah, number 5.
Number 5 happened in 2002, and I was stunned when this happened. Mr. Perfect. I was even more shocked the next year when he died of a drug overdose. And that's not a joke. I'm serious.
No, I know.
But Mr. Perfect came back. I was not expecting to see him, and he had I want to say a decent little run in WWE. He was, and I think he was down to I think he was in the Final 4.
Wow, really?
I think he made it to the Final 4 in 2002. And he had a nice little run. And then I think he had that incident with Brock Lesnar, like on a plane. They got into a fight or something.
Sounds about right.
But rest in peace, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Hennig.
Number 4. You looking at the list too?
Yeah, I got the list.
Yeah, go with number 4. I've been hogging this.
RVD, Rob Van Dam.
Rod Van Dingle. Yeah, Rob Van Dam. And this was interesting because this was a one-time appearance.
Yeah.
He's in, he's out, and I think he was back with TNA after that too.
Yeah. He signed a few months later, like 4 or 5 months later, with TNA. But yeah, it was just like a one night only, ECW kind of thing. It was awesome. The crowd did not expect it, and I think that's what makes the best returns is when no one's expecting it. The clock hits 0. And their music hits and RVD comes out or so-and-so comes out. That's the best part of Royal Rumble for me.
Same here. This next one was the case. The music hit, and I'm like, who is this?
Yeah. Number 3 was 2011 when Kevin Nash, Big Daddy Cool, Diesel makes his first appearance as Diesel since 1996, 15 years. The crowd went nuts. It was so cool. And the look on Kofi Kingston's face like, holy fucking shit.
And were they in Detroit?
I don't know where they were.
I can't remember if that's why he came back as Diesel because that's his hometown. But I remember hearing that music, and of course I watched when he was Diesel back in the day. But I thought there's no way he's coming back as Diesel because he's Kevin Nash. Everybody knows he's Kevin Nash, and that really threw me for a loop. It was awesome. It was great.
It was very, very cool.
Who's number 2?
Number 2 was my favorite on the list, and it was still one of probably my biggest mark-out moment, not in an arena. And that was Chris Jericho coming out at number 2 last year. And we're going to watch this again on Sunday because we're getting early. We're having a party, man. Time to watch a Rumble.
It was a lot of fun seeing him start with Dolph Ziggler.
Why didn't they have a match at Mania? Why? Why was it Fandango? And why was he in a match for the tag team champion? It just didn't make sense. But that moment was perfect. The wrestlers didn't even know Jericho was going to be in it. He was sitting in a van outside in the parking lot. That's where he got his Jeritrol name from. You know, it was absolutely perfect return.
We could see him again on Sunday.
Ooh, two-time Jericho. Ooh, that'd be sweet.
That'd be awesome.
I hope so.
And who is our number one top return? Romano.
Anyone who
Lay your
follows,
head down for a 3-second tan.
Wait a minute. We missed you missed someone on the list.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You totally did.
We went through all 10.
No. I mean, you should have added someone to the list. And I
Who?
know. Okay, I believe Triple H.
No.
In 2002.
He did not return at the Rumble. His first action was at the Rumble. He returned on Raw in January, and they made a big deal about it because they promoted it for weeks. They're like, and returning, Triple H makes his return. He was not a surprise return at the Rumble. He came back, and he had said, I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble.
All right.
And I'm going to win it, and I'm going to beat Chris Jericho
Okay.
for the undisputed championship.
Fair enough.
I watched back then.
I
Sucker.
didn't. Okay, fair enough.
And I told you earlier tonight when you pointed that out.
I
said
know,
he did
but
not
I
return.
still think
You
he
doubt
should
me.
qualify.
No. These are surprise returns.
Okay.
And all of the 10. All 10 of those were surprise returns.
Fair enough. Number 1, John Cena coming back from injury.
You wanted to amend our list on the air, and you wanted to incorrectly amend it. I will crush you.
Honorable mention to Triple H. Even though it wasn't a big surprise, it was a huge
If we
moment.
had a list of guys who returned shortly before the Royal Rumble and then participated
Dave
in the Royal
Batista.
Rumble, Batista and Triple H would be on that list, sure.
Okay. Sorry, I just completely messed up my mic stand, so I got to hold it for a minute here.
Okay.
But John Cena coming back in 2008, no one was expecting his music hits. He comes out, he wins. That was crazy. I mean, go back and watch that clip. Look at Triple H's face. He's like, "Are you what?"
It was cool because we had talked in the group that we were watching it with. We had talked about how, it's kind of too bad Cena's not going to be in this because he's one of their biggest stars, but he's got that bad injury. I think, was it a tricep or was it his bicep again?
It was something with his arm, if I remember. Yeah,
It may have even been his shoulder. I can't remember. Or no, it was the neck. Wasn't it the neck?
I
think it was his neck. Because
Really not
he
sure.
returned quickly from a neck injury and had surgery, and we're like, what? And I think that's what it was. But when he came back, and it was at Madison Square Garden, so it had that short side entrance, and right when he showed up, we were like, no way, it's John's. Oh my gosh. And I liked it.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say I popped, but I kind of did.
Well, that's why it's number 1.
Yeah. That was
And
cool.
that's our list. And we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We're so pumped for the Royal Rumble. We know you guys are too. Maybe send us your picks. Who do you think is going to be the big return this year? It's never who we think. Last year we were talking about John Morrison and MVP and stuff like that. So yeah, send us your picks. Who's going to win? Is Daniel Bryan going to or not Daniel Bryan? John Cena and Randy Orton going to walk out as champ? Tell us what you think. Send us a tweet at Twitter. At 97Bush, at Jimmy Bellamy, and of course at Immortals PCast.
Also, if you don't do it already, we encourage you, if you're watching the Rumble, to have a little fun with it. If you're watching with a group, randomly draw numbers out of a hat.
Oh yeah,
and have those numbers represent you. If you have 6 people there, everybody gets 5 numbers, and that wrestler that comes out at that number, you represent or represents you. And that's a fun way to watch it.
That
of
was
course,
awesome.
I know some people will incorporate drinking games and stuff like that, but it's a ton of fun to just have those guys and be like, oh, that's my guy in there.
Yeah.
And to see who wins.
I won $30 last year.
Oh, not bad.
What we did, we all put in $1 per pick. So some people put in $1 and got one number in the Royal Rumble. I put in 5. And I ended up with John Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus or something.
That's funny because it came down to Cena and Ryback.
It did. So I knew I had it. So
which is so
pretty nice.
funny for Ryback. I don't even think he was on Raw tonight.
No. But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of fun games to do. You know, tweet us photos of your party if you're having one, or even if you're alone. We want to see you.
Yeah. Well, I that sounded weird. Even if you're alone, we want to see you, and then I come in and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I meant just like send us your Rumble stuff.
Yeah.
Or send us your photos, whatever. We don't care.
I just
We do care.
Interact.
Yeah.
We like interactivity.
Also, find us on iTunes. Subscribe. If you've had to resubscribe, thank you. We apologize for the inconvenience. You can also find us at podcastoftheimmortals.podbean.com, podcastoftheimmortals.wordpress.com. Find us on Facebook at Podcast of the Immortals by doing a search, or just facebook.com/Podcast of the Immortals. You guys know the drill by now, but of course, every week we hope that there are new listeners, so that, you know, we
like you already.
Keep building our audience and let you know where we are. But you can always find us on Google too. It's easy to do a search. Also, another shout out to the PBI Wrestling guys out of Rochester, Minnesota, doing their podcast. Check them out. They gave us a shout out the other week. And yeah, we will be podcasting with them at the Elimination Chamber, or at least during that weekend.
Yeah, and by the way, there's a Matt on the show as well, not just Jimmy, guys.
Don't listen to them, Ace and Lou. Matt got a little jealous. But yeah, Matt Bush, of course. You can give him a little mention, and he'll get a little shiny twinkle in his eye.
And we'll see you guys at the chamber. All right,
so bring your best.
Bring it. We're coming for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.